Hello friends, today I'm going to be making my first custom order for a pronged ring style. So I've been practicing a ton with prongs over the past few weeks. We've got this citrine one with brass that I made. Then I've also got a peridot one. I have a simple glass one that I practiced with, as well as I tried a rough prong. So this is a rough Herkimer diamond that I made into a pronged ring. I've practiced with both sterling silver and with brass, and there are some differences between how hot each needs to get to solder, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable after a few successes, after many fails, that I am comfortable enough to get started on some custom orders. We're going to be using this smoked Ethiopian opal stone for the order, and for the band, we're going to be doing a simple band with just a round sterling silver wire. We're going to be using a 14 gauge for that. And then for these prong styles that I've been doing, it's almost like a bezel around the stone and then prongs coming out of the bezel area. And so for that bezel area, we're going to be using sterling silver sheet metal that I will cut into a bezel. And since it's a pretty large stone and it's an oval shape, we're going to be doing a 6-prong style. So I'll probably have 2 coming up here, 2 coming down there, and then the last 2 wrapping around the sides. It's going to be a north-south facing ring, so similar to this right here, where we've got the stone sitting upwards as opposed to being on its side, which would be an east-west setting. And I've practiced around with a ton of different types of prong settings, and this bezel one is the one that I have found most successful. So when I was starting practicing prongs, I was using a style like this that has a cage and what they call a gallery wire around the inside. However, I was having such problems with getting the cage to stabilize out and for the prongs to not move while I was trying to solder them, and it was just so frustrating that I learned the bezel way to do it. And the very unconventional tool that I'll be using to help keep the bezel and prongs in place as I solder them is cat litter. This probably sounds insane, and just a disclaimer, of course it is clean litter, but I saw on the Silversmith Reddit sub that people recommend using cat litter, putting a bit of water in it so that it turns into a clay, and using that as something to hold your wires and such while you solder them so they don't move. I guess cat litter is non-flammable, so you can heat it and it does not catch on fire. And I thought it was a crazy idea, but I tried it and it worked, and that has been the thing that has made my prongs really consistent and really got the needle moving for being able to make prongs more often without so many failures. So I will be setting up my wet clay on this soldering block to be able to hold my prong pieces together as I solder them. And here it is on the right here, and then I also made one with a bezel setting on the left because I cracked a stone while making the pronged one, and so I just flipped it over and made it a bezel setting one and sent it to my client as well.